Good afternoon to the wonderful listeners of Star Radio, wherever you are. To those who are online on the live, and we see some of these Coopers, Don Jumper, Lavon, Jacobs, Val Tucker, Doreen, there was Patricia Sargent, all there. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this Monday afternoon edition of the Street Beat program. Sion Marshall is here with you. Bling is here with you, my faithful technician, and we are on the road. By now, you look behind me. I say, Lorido, you look behind me and you see behind me the photograph, or no, not photograph, but you see behind me the image of active construction. Active construction. Or you look on the other screen and you see active construction. This is the site of the Holiday Inn Express. This is going to have about 92 rooms, 93 rooms. Go, I think, 4 floors up. And will employ quite a number of individuals. Now, if you look at the active construction site, you'd see that there is quite a workforce there in this construction phase. So you have the construction, the workers who are working now in the construction phase. Once it gets beyond the construction phase, you then go into the operational phase of it, where the hotel being operated would have its staff, different levels, administrative staff, secretarial staff, managerial staff, and so forth, ancillary staff, and so forth. So here, two things. One, you're seeing live and direct the the boom in construction that we've been talking about. We talk about over and over and over, and the boom in tourism that we're also talking about. So you have two things coming together. Naturally, construction is the foundation for tourism because you have to construct the hotels and all the other parts that are necessary if you are to have a boom in tourism sector. Now, remember that the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines has taken a leading role in ensuring that there are hotel rooms, or there will be hotel rooms available in this country following the opening of the Argyle International Airport. The mantra during from the conceptualization through construction and even now in operationalization has been build it and they will come. They refer to and continue to refer to things like the investments in hotel, improve trade, improve access. All of these things, it was visualized, seen, anticipated, would come as a result of the investment in Argyle. Now, others couldn't see that. And to this day, the opposition NDP, you need to turn on your volume. The opposition NDP to this day is still questioning the viability and the sense of the airport to this day. But we knew and we saw the vision of Dr. Gonzalez said that build it and they will come. Now, while we can speak factually of the foreign investments that have come as a result of the airport. And I'm speaking specifically to tourism. We can throw the net wide and talk about different investments, medicinal cannabis. Uh, um, um, we could talk about rainforestry foods and so forth, other investments in agriculture. But we can confine just for now the discussion on investments to the tourism sector. And we can talk about the increase in investment in that sector where small hotels, the traditional hotels here, have invested by beefing up their room stock. You have significant work being done by Beachcombers. You have work done by Paradise. So people adding to their room stock as a result of the anticipated bunks in tourist arrival because of AIA. And then while you had that reinvestment or investment in existing hotels, you also have investments in smaller ones, guest houses, Airbnb. My good friend has Stone Trail Villas down on Indian Bay, and you go around and you see a number of really nice smaller hotels and guest houses and so forth, really well developed, properly done, to accommodate. I'm talking about with 7 rooms, 9 rooms, 12 rooms, and so forth, done by local investors. Then you talk about Maya, done by Mr. McDowell, just across the road there. Again, local investment. And then you could talk about the foreign investment, the new foreign investment that has come in. So you can talk about the LoveU Consortium, the group that is doing Royal Mill and bought over LoveU and has done a fantastic job in developing that hotel, doing significant renovation work and improvement work on that hotel. The hotel that we all knew as Grand View, now LoveU. And that group is also responsible for the construction of Royal Mill. Then you have the massive one, the Sandals, Beaches by Sandals, down at Bukoment on the old Bukama Resort. Over 300 rooms you're looking at down there. Massive 200 million US dollar investment right there down at Bukoment. So you have all of those. But while these things were happening and are happening, the government understands that we still would have a shortage or not enough rooms. And so the government has also gotten involved with plans to do to finance 2 hotels. The one hotel behind us, the Holiday Inn Express, and the Marriott, the intended Marriott down at Mount Petersburg. So the government has taken the lead because the government recognizes that there is a need right now, and that while private investment may not be coming as fast as you would love to see it, that there is space for the government to also get involved and ensure that there are rooms, there is capacity here in St. Mary's and the Grenadines for when they come, because they are coming. They are coming. So behind me, behind us, is one of those hotels, the Holiday Inn Express. This hotel is going to be pretty close to AIA, pretty close to the St. Vincent Beach Stadium, pretty close to the Center of Excellence. I mean, when you look at where we are here, when you look at where we are here, you have National Properties Limited with Vinci Fresh. You have the Center of Excellence that has incubators, ICT incubators, the NCTI and so forth. And I believe the prime unit is out here as well. Then you go a little lower down and you have the Hotel and Tourism Training Institute, where you train people in things like culinary arts and so forth. And a little lower down, you have the St. Vincent Beach Stadium, sports stadium. All of this is one little area, right in Diamond. No, just across the river, so you have Corey's distribution, massive complex over there, big, massive complex over there. And like I said a bit earlier, you have Maya just 5 minutes down the road in this little area. And so you ask yourself, people say, oh, what happening with the development? No development happening. And I would respond to a statement like that by saying, anybody who makes a statement like that is dishonest. And people do not like to hear me speak like that in a robust manner. But it is true. If you are able to drive past this place every day, but turn around and say, no, nothing happening, or ask mischievously, where is the development? Then I have to question you, and I have to question your level of honesty. I have to question it. Now, we recognize as a government that tourism will be a pillar in our development. Countries like Barbados, St. Kitts Nevis, Antigua Barbuda, the Bahamas, Bermuda, a lot of those countries live exclusively, almost exclusively, off of tourism. We are fortunate that our government did not abandon agriculture, but rather made it a mainstay. Made it a mainstay so that while we have tourism and we are looking at other sectors, and there are 5 sectors as promoted by Invest SVG, we still have also agriculture that supports and is a platform or a complement rather to the other areas of development. You ask the question, what will the tourists eat when they come? What will the tourists eat when they come? We heard some serious figures about what beaches would require, their requirements, eggs, and all those things, what they would require once they start operating. And the numbers for beaches, thousands of things, thousands of eggs per week, and thousands of pounds of this or that and so forth. And you ask, are our farmers preparing themselves to take advantage, to be in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that would come? Listen, the Ministry of Agriculture, working with and supporting you, is already giving you subsidized inputs, money and so forth. The ministry offer you tractor plowing assistance where you just call and the plow would come and plow up the land for you. You ain't got to do it the manual way of breaking up, breaking work. The government is putting things in place, providing the support to ensure that our farmers are in a position to take advantage of the opportunities that will arise. Are you taking advantage of them? Or are you sitting back and listening to commerce and old talk? Now, I get a little picong, I get a little picong. I can't just think so. Because you see, when the ULP has a rally, a meeting, the comrades come to hear the addresses of the leaders of the party. That is why, for example, when you have a party conference in in Vermont where I was, you have over 100 something people. Or you go to French's house, where East Kingston had theirs. Again, a nice crowd. You know, the various constituency conferences, as a unlike when the NDP had their thing last election to vote for Lavon Velox. I don't hear 30 people there. Philip get 2 votes, Adrian get 2. Wednesday must get none. Lavon get 15. I can't remember how much. Some ridiculous numbers. Same thing happened with Mespo. Of course, they embarrass Cork. They make Cork feel like, I don't know. So they embarrass Cork and understandably Cork felt aggrieved. When the Labour Party has functions, people come to hear the message because you're coming for a report. Coming to a ULP function is like coming to Parents' Day at a school. You're going to hear how your child doing in school. You're going to hear what the government has done, what the government is doing, what the government will be doing, and how they all fit together as part of the developmental narrative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The development narrative of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It don't matter who we bring. The substance, the main thing, the main attraction is the comrade and other members of the leadership of the party, what they have to say, how they're going to take the country forward. Everything else is sideshow. Everything else is guest appearance. Everything else is comrades come to here, get a report from the leadership. They come to hear the comrade talk. They come to hear comrade booster talk. They come to hear the message. So when, and I go play the clip for you tomorrow morning, I'll get tomorrow morning. When you hear Godwin Friday get up, the leader of the NDP, and admits to the crowd, I know most of you here, I swear, he said, I know most of you here come to hear Farmer Nappy and Ja Vinci and Carbon Jams and Magical. And that's fine, that's all right. That's good. But as I have your hair, I have something I want to tell all you. Obviously, they ain't come to hear you. Because as much as he was trying to talk to the young people know where the vision lies. The young people know where the real plans for the future are. They know who has their backs. They know who has their best interest at heart. So when you bring in Ja Vinci and they bring in Farmer Nappy and so on, listen, you, without anybody having to tell you, know and admit that they come to hear Ja Vinci and Farmer Nappy. Because they know you have nothing to tell them. Because they know they cannot depend on you to hear anything about plans and programs and substance. Because they know all they're going to tell them is that if they give you a chance, like the gambling, you're going to sell St. Vincent passport. They know that. They know the story. They know the narrative. So they ain't coming to hear you. And understandably, you're not a stupid man. You are not a silly fella. Even though some of your decisions are questionable and may make people think, but you're not stupid. And so you know, you recognize, and you understand that they're there not for you and for what you have to say, but for the entertainment. But we, Labour Party comrades, young people, listen, young people coming around to a ULP function because they know chances are comrade might announce some initiative for young people, some new initiative for young people. And if not a new initiative for young people, comrade might discuss strengthening and broadening and widening and expanding an existing initiative for young people. So we could talk about increasing the stipend for YES program workers. There's an existing program, but we're strengthening that, we're expanding that so that more people could benefit. Improve the benefits for those who are on those programs. They're going to come to hear about how Sandals training young people and how young people going overseas every 2 months or what have you to be trained at a different Sandals resort so that when beaches come, they have people who are already trained in the Sandals culture and the Sandals way of doing things. When you listen to the NDP on tourism and entrepreneurship and investment, you know what you're hearing? Oh, they need to cap investment. They can't take no more money because they could buy votes. What kind of backward, foolish, ridiculous nonsense is that? What kind of ridiculous nonsense is that? You had no plans. You had nothing to match. And so all you could say is, boy, you want to stop everything. You and the activists want to stop the port project. You want to block the amount of investments coming in from Sandals and Reno and Rainforest Foods. You don't care that limiting and blocking investments coming in impacts negatively the opportunities that are available for young people in employment. You don't care about that? Nah. Because all you're seeing is the politics of it. All you're seeing is the politics of it. So, what's going on behind me there? What the other camera dip on? Watch me, after 5, you know. After 5, public servants gone home. Other people working till 4:30 gone home. You hearing up there? You hearing up there? Active construction site. Active construction site. And we're doing street beat, and we're coming on the road, and we're going to these sites because you ain't gonna see them on the other programs. They will put up pictures of accidents. They will put up all kind of comments and all kind of foolishness, but they will not come and put up a picture of an active. Listen, it's just about a year ago. The contract for that design, you know. It's just about a year ago. The contract for the construction of this thing is signing. I was there at the press conference. Just about a year ago. And look what they already. I have no specifics about timelines and dates and when it's going done and all that kind of thing there. But they could trust me, Me could trust me, and me drive past it and me see the development, me see the progress. Me see the progress. at the hotel. Construction going steadily. Every time I pass there, I'm in awe. Just like this morning, you wouldn't believe bling. Boss, I look out the back window at the complex this morning. Boss, a full beach, you know. A full beach reclamation site, you know. Full beach, you know. Boss, you need to come upstairs by me and look down this. That's where I see the real magnitude of how far down they reach. Over the weekend. Real serious work happening. And so when the Vex people ain't gonna post it and the others ain't gonna post it, they rather post comments and salacious foolishness and so on. Then they would come and tell you, oh, nothing ain't doing and this, that, and so and tether, as what the Joe would just say. And the real information that you need, you ain't getting it. So we had to come on the road and show you what's going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we gonna do it. Once me alive, me health, me a strength, and the piece of chocolate jugu walk, me go on the road. I'll go on the road and let's see what's going on. So just over a year ago, NH Construction signed the contract for that. And already, look at the significant work that has been done. I wonder, boy, like we could always come and say they're going to have pool and all kind of things. Eh? Good afternoon. How we do? Yeah, right. Look at me. Yeah, it's fine. Somebody just shouted with it. You know that's why I love go on the vocabulary. Shout me plenty of things on the road. I love it. And I believe somewhere over there, there's supposed to be a community center or something over just above the stadium in this little park called Diamond. Now let me tell you something. Now let me tell you something. Just to mention this. You see when we are on the road, and if the comrade and the comrades listening, and the comrades them know that any comrade, your constituency or not, once you anywhere in the area and you want to come and jump on the street beat, it's your street beat. And even the comrades who live in the area, come out and line with us and chat with us. We go talk. Because the street beat is your program. You see how we have it here. We can't take no calls and so forth, unfortunately. So because we can't take the calls, if you come, we could engage with you right here and put the mic in front of you and you could talk. So I just have to say by the way. I know there's somewhere between Comrade Camilo and Comrade Gustas. Somewhere between the two of them. You know? And I know it's a good comrade who live in the area. But you come in every day and they see in the construction. And yet you have the gall, you have the nerve to come and talk about not happening or question what is happening. Now let me say this now. I know because of the political tribalism that exists in this country, promoted, fostered, encouraged by the NDP, I know plenty of people don't like me. I know plenty of them don't like me. They don't want to hear me. They don't want to see me. One man on the FM say when the church hear me voice, it does itch your skin. Oh my God. That's how things are in this country now. And why am I hated? I'm hated for two reasons that are connected. One, because I support the Dr. Ralph Gonsalves led Unity Labour Party government. And because I speak positively of the policies and programs of the Dr. Gonsalves-led Unity Labour Party government. So essentially, my association with Labour is why they hate me. Well, that is a matter for them. That is a matter for them. I will continue to bring the message to you. And the thing about it, is that they can't say, Sian, you told X, Y, or Y lie. X lie or Y lie. Because I do my best to ensure that when I speak, I bring the facts. I can support my statements with facts, with data. Yeah, you must say when we talk, there's itchy skin. Can you imagine that? Because they call him from the radio station. But I have that responsibility. So I could come like I do in the morning in school, when I could tell you about what happened. I could talk about the Haldane Express, I could talk about when I drive past it yesterday and so on. But today, I'm doing one better. I come to the Haldane Express to show you firsthand what's going on. And you could see what's going on. And this is just one of the many tourism projects that are ongoing, that came into being because of the visionary, because of the creative, because of the absolutely necessary and transformative Argyle International Airport. And they don't like it when we talk like that about Argyle. And they don't like it when we talk about Argyle at all because it gets on their nerve. They didn't support Argyle. On the one hand, they want to dismiss Argyle as nothing, but on the other hand, the NDP activists who's trying to stop the port construction say it's a $1.5 billion airport. No, I know we didn't spend $1.5 billion on the airport. I know St. Vincent and the Grenadines didn't spend $1.5 billion on the airport. We probably spent about half of that. And if you could spend half of that on the airport, and after 6 years of operations, it value 1.5 billion, then we did something right. Hello? Okay. Okay. Tell Shia for me, please. Say hi. I know my family loves me, Jeb. I know my family loves me. Yeah. Oh my God! Ollie, please excuse me there. Woo. Oh, well, I didn't even have to respond. Somebody responded for me. Oh my Lord. Yes, it's a beautiful afternoon. It's cool. The breeze blowing. Make it cool, eh? It's cool. The breeze blowing. So yes. I bring you out here so you could see what's going on. And those who seek to distract us, to try and get us to not focus on the task at hand, on the good work that we are supposed to be doing, they will be ever present and they will always come because they have an agenda. We, however, have to always remain focused because we have a message to deliver. We have a message to deliver. And when I deliver my message, when I come to deliver my message of prosperity and development and growth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I come in with the receipts. I come in That's the new term. With the receipts, I come in with the proof. I come with the proof. Gemma, like a Ron Claude, man. Oh! Gemma, leave Claude alone, please. Mother walk. Gemma, leave Claude. Yes. I come in with the proof. So I wore the NDP and their detractors. I wore no film. It million at all. Everybody knows man in scoop. Every single soul knows is street beat they. Everybody knows street beat. They mislead at all. Cause down the man in time. But I hear you. So here's the thing. When they come, when I come on the radio, I come with the proof. And so it's difficult to disprove the proof. It's difficult to disprove the proof. Because now, although it had one that used to come on and say Eli, and you know, there are some people like that. They are that brain dead that she would actually come. I'm talking about the Holiday Inn Express. I'm next to the Holiday Inn Express, and she will come on and say Eli. But although that you do have one or two brain dead ones like that, the others just have to accept. Boy, at this point, there's nothing I could do because the man talking and he had the proof right behind him there. So the people in the diaspora, the shut-ins who live here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but they don't get to go outside and so on. If they have a grandchild and so forth, the grandchild could bring the tablet and or the phone and show them we on Street Beat, and they could see what we're talking about. And they could say, but how come I was listening to X or Y program and this is blah, 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 blah. But look, we see it there. Look, see and come and show you what's going on there. Look, see and come and show you what's going on there. So how they say nothing happen? How they say the work stop? Oh, there's a favorite thing there, is that the work stop. Nothing happen out there. It hold up. So you have all of those misguided, dishonest comments being made, all with an intention of misleading Vincentians, misleading our brothers and sisters in diaspora, creating doubt and confusion and chaos among our people. Why? For politics. For politics. Hello, Claude. Go have live with the discussion, please. Now, whether your father is to beat your mother, you just beat your man, hello, don't have nothing to do with the program. Hello. We're talking about the Holiday Inn Express. Hello. Hey, Claude, take your personal family violence business over the life, please. Now. We don't want to talk about that. If you want to ask me a question about the Holiday Inn Express, ask me, and I'm going to tell you. I will tell you. Huh? Yeah, nice shot there. Nice shot. The progress is real. And yes, there will be further hotel development in St. Vincent and Grenadines as our product develop and expand. Because the ULP has a clear plan for tourism. The ULP has a clear plan. Get to me, Kojo. Get to me. Listen to me. Kojo, me and the live already. Don't wait on. how it's going to be already. Get to me at this point in my life. Okay. There will be more. Because people, look, people want to make money. People want to make money. And when they see the opportunity in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to invest and make a good return on the investment, listen, if you remember now, when Adam Stewart came here and he spoke, Adam talked about the pristine product that is in Vincent and the Grenadines, untouched. Untouched. And he saw the potential. Adam and them a hotel all over the place. Adam a vacation all over the place. Adam no destinations. Adam no destinations. And so when Adam tells you that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is the next new thing that's coming up, other investors like Adam Stewart want to get in on St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He's not the only one. And so yes, there will be more development. There will be more development. I come here this evening with a goal and a purpose, you know. I come here this evening with a goal and a purpose. And I realize when it hitting them, when it's stinging them, when the information coming out and it burning the ears, when they got to burn your ears. Because once you stay here, you're going to hear about the progress. You're going to hear about the development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You're going to hear about it. I'm glad you come. I know why you run. I'm glad you come. I don't care where you come from. I don't care the reason why you came. I'm glad you're here. So stick around. You're going to learn something. So I'm glad you come. You will learn that there is a 98-room hotel. I would say this hotel is maybe 55, 60% complete. So maybe early next year, this hotel by Carnival 2024, this hotel should be hosting visitors for Carnival. And you could go and tell your friends and your family and those who you speak with about the progress that we make in hotel development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and specifically behind me back this so the Holiday Inn Express. Let me put the phone down here so you can see it, man. Yeah. Yes, that's a good shot this so. Eh? That's why I come talk about. That's why I come talk about. What do you think? What do you think? Nobody give me off track. None tal. None tal. And we will see more and more and more. I think it's Dark who has been asking me if I go in beaches. If I could find a nice vantage point, maybe I could do beaches. If I could find a good vantage point, maybe I could do beaches next. Because I want people to see the development that's going on in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with their very eyes. You know, there was a time when things were done with snail mail. You write letter, you post letter, you wait 2 to 3 weeks for letter to come back and all kind of thing. Well, if I let it go, and then another 2 to 3 weeks, or a month and a half, the post office. Technology is undoubtedly one of the best things to happen to humankind. One of the best things to happen to humankind. Now, unfortunately, some individuals abuse and misuse the technology. But we have to use it for good. Well, I like this comment from Ivan. Yeah. Good. I love that. He says a good time to be young and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. No, it's a good time to be young. Yes, I. And so we have to encourage our young people to prepare themselves to be a part and take advantage of the many opportunities available. Many opportunities available. You can't sit down and blame government. Wait, on my phone there. You can't sit down and blame government and feel that all everything you're doing is government. Look, I know that many individuals who live in diaspora who have certain specific training and skill sets, they can now come home. There was a time in St. Vincent and the Grenadines when the first thing they said, but they can't pay me for that. What work I going to do when I go home with this degree? And what work I going to do when I go home with that degree? And I know many Vincentians who are on ships or working in the hotel and tourism industry in places like BVI and so on. How are you? I'm chatting with people on radio. All right. They can come home and find proper employment right here in our country. Because now we have the hotels. Well, I can't speak to the pay scale of any particular job. I know what the minimum wage is in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in different sectors, and the minimum wage is set to increase again, so that the 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 different companies will pay differently, but once they pay within what is stipulated by law, by the wages council. And you know that tourism jobs, hotel jobs usually pay good. In some countries where the tourism product is very developed, people leave the government sector and go into the tourism sector, go on hotels and so on to take up jobs at different levels. Of course, again, when you ask a question like, uh, what would be the pay scale? It's a very broad question because at what type of jobs are you talking about? Are you talking about managerial jobs? Are you talking about admin jobs? Are you talking about jobs in like house cleaning and so on? What restaurant and bars? Where exactly? So there is no pay scale because there are different types of jobs within that one establishment that can be had. But like I said, where wages are concerned, there is a minimum wage which is set by the government. And so any employer coming into St. Vincent and the Grenadines or any Vincentian employer would have to treat with their workers in a manner that is consistent with the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They would have to treat with their workers in a manner consistent with the laws of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So, look, like I still said, who don't want to see progress? Or who want to see progress and deny progress? That is up to them. Keep in mind, that this hotel behind us is a government financed hotel. It's not a private sector one. Now there will be a management arrangement. And so a management company will operate because it's the Holiday and Holiday Inn Express, the Holiday Inn is a franchise. And similarly, you have the hotel, the Marriott down in Mount Twin, Peters Hope, and that also will be managed by a management company. But the government is doing its part. It's playing a leading role in ensuring that we have the hotel rooms, the spaces, the infrastructure there to support the growing tourism product that we have. And to support the ever expanding tourism because we see the potential for growth in our tourism industry. Look, this year, cruise tourism was off the charts. We were seeing cruise ships every day of the week, sometimes two, docked on the wharf and one day out in the harbor using tender. That's what we saw. That never happened before in St. Vincent and the Grenadines with that consistency. You never had that level of consistency with cruise ships in our harbor. Never. And yet you would hear the parliamentarians of the NDP and their supporters talking about how horrible the season was and nothing happening. And then you would hear some of the individuals who are just parroting the talking points, talking about, all tourists on cruise ships just come to buy a Pepsi and go back. What? But people who are incapable of thinking for themselves and analyzing and assessing what's going on around them would just parrot those statements. Because it's easier to just repeat what somebody say when you are incapable of coming up and thinking for yourself, coming up with your own assessment based on the best information available. And that's why my good friend Crystal does insist that, look, if you're going to formulate an opinion and come on radio and try and get people to buy that opinion, you have to make sure that your opinion is based on some sort of facts, some sort of information. You can't just be spewing blah 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 because you have a mouth. What is the basis for your opinion? No, when somebody says nothing happening in St. Vincent and the Grenadines or nothing now go on, or ask the question, what the development day? That's not opinion. Nothing now go on. Nothing now do. That's not an opinion, that's a lie. And there's a difference between an opinion and a lie. That person isn't rendering an opinion, that person is telling a lie. And programs like this one are designed to debunk the lie without saying a lie. Because the next time somebody comes and tells you nothing happening in tourism and no hotels in building in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you could come to this program and you could tell them, but no. Sian Marsh was on Star Radio the other day, right out by a hotel I was building that he said is going to be the Holiday Inn Express. So you can't say nothing now build and nothing now do. You can't say so. And Sian Marshall was down on the port project one Monday, and we saw the work, the reclamation work and so on being done, and we saw the boat the boat pumping out the sand that was harvested off Argyle. So the thing about it is this. The thing about it is this. As we see what is happening, and as more and more Vincentians, as more and more and more Vincentians, with access to opportunities available, take advantage of these opportunities, then you will definitely see improved living standards for all. Because you'll go from unemployed to employed, or you can go from underemployed to fully employed. And that's what we want. The question asked from Darwin Grant. And the question is, can Vincentians working those jobs buy lands, build a house, get loans for more than a car, etc.? Progress yet, but for who? Well, Darwin Grant, I will answer your question by saying this. It's not the job that determines what you're able to afford, it's your salary. And there are people in all sorts of jobs, entry level jobs and so forth, who are unable to build houses and buy cars, and they have to acquire a better pay, sometimes through promotion or years of experience and so forth. And so, yes, I know people who are working at hotels who have their own houses down. Yes, I do. In St. Vincent and Grenadines. Yeah. So the answer to my question is yes. Yes, people who work in hotels here in St. Vincent and Grenadines do have their homes and do have land. Yes, absolutely. No, like every other business, different hotels pay differently. So, for example, if Vincentians work on Mustique in the hotel industry there, or in Canawan and so forth, on Beckway, they may be able to get a bigger salary than if they work for a smaller hotel on the mainland, or a guest house on those same islands. But if they're able to save and so forth, absolutely, they'll be able to afford things. They'll be able to buy their home. The progress in this country, Darwin, is for everybody. I don't know if you live in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I don't know if you have children, but the progress in St. Vincent, if you don't, let me explain something to you. And I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you asked the question. The progress in St. Vincent means that when before, under the NDP, only 40% of our children were going to secondary school, the progress that we've seen now, everybody going to secondary school. So you ask the question, progress for who? For all of our children, not just 40%. Now imagine under an NDP government where you had 40% of the students going to secondary school, and yet there were dropouts. I remember going to the graduation of the Mountain View Adventist Academy in 1992. In 1992. And I remember the statistics. 5 years before, 30 something students entered the Form 1 and 17 were graduating. There was almost a 50% dropout rate. And similar statistics exist across the board. It may not be 50%, it may be 30%, it may be 20%, depending on some will repeat, some will drop out, and so forth. So imagine, Darwin, I hope you're still there. Imagine that only 40% of our nation 12-year-old go in secondary school. But out of the 40%, another 20% dropping out, or 25%. Let me get a low figure. Let me not go the almost 50% that accord with Mountain View back then. Let me go up a smaller figure, not 50% or 40. Let's say 20. So imagine 700 and something, which was the average number that used to go to secondary school. Imagine 750 students going in Form 1. And of that, 300 make it to graduation 5 years later. There's there's sorry, 150, sorry, that's 20%. 150 of these 700 or 750. Sorry, I mixed myself. So 750 go to secondary school, 150 drop out. That means only 600 graduating. Today, let's use the same stats. 1,800 students writing common entrance, all going to secondary school. If we say the same 20% ain't graduate, that's 360 out of 1,800. We still have 1,440 students graduating secondary school. And you ask development and progress for who? Eh? We gone from 600 under NDP to 1,440 under ULP. That's a plus of 840 students. So it's progress for the other 840, Darwin. What do you mean progress for who? As a little boy, I used to teach. I started to teach young. I go teachers college young. I was a qualified teacher young. But many of my co-workers and colleagues couldn't own homes even though they were qualified teachers. It was too expensive. It was too expensive, Brother Darwin. They couldn't afford it. People lived in their mother house until they're nearly 50. Today, because of the 100% mortgage program by this government, and because of the increases in salary by this government, people in the 20s that own home. You ask the question, though, progress for who? Progress for those public servants who can now afford to buy and build homes and buy land because of the policy of the government. I remember my sister. She used to study back in the 80s. She used to go to the College of Arts, Science and Technology in Jamaica every summer. Over a couple of years, she got the degree. But our rate of enrollment at universities was the lowest in the Caribbean. This government, with its student loan program, with its disadvantaged student loan program, with its tuition assistance program giving assistance to students, we now have the highest enrollment on all three campuses in the Caribbean, except for the host country. You ask the question, you don't want me answering you. Progress for who? Progress for all those students who got assistance to go and study. And don't talk about the scholarships in Taiwan and Russia and Morocco and Austria and Turkey and Mexico and Venezuela. Don't. Our ambassador to Venezuela, who served in the OAS mission, studied in Mexico and speaks fluent Spanish. Narissa, who's on the live right now, a Vincentian engineer trained in Cuba, speaks fluent Spanish, and that's why she was able to get a blast week out of the bridge and talk. And Darwin, them is poor people picnic. Them not miss this and miss that picnic. Them is ordinary Vincentian. You ask the question, progress, yes, but for who? The children of the poor and the working class. The children of the poor and the working class. So if you aren't here, just some examples, and we can talk about any number of examples. Any number of examples. In tourism, any number of things. You can talk abstractly about progress, but you can't tell me the progress they made because I can tell everybody that after 17 years in government, your NDP gave out 3 scholarships every year. You song so? Who them so? Who them so? Come, Brad, you good? All right, man, nice. 3 scholarships. Last year, last year, Darwin, it's 73, an increase of of 70 scholarships. 70 scholarships. So imagine you asking me, and you're talking about progress. If in 17 years, after 17 years, the only you could only do 3 scholarships, and that is the progress that you could talk about. 3 scholarships. If you bragging about progress in 3 scholarships, if you're bragging about progress with 0 house built for poor people, 0, none at all. Hmm? If you're talking about public assistance of $50, lowest salaries, if that's the progress you want to come and brag about on my program, you ain't going. You ain't going. And you had no international airport. Even though we were constantly promised an international airport, we never got one. Never showed up. Never materialized. Never. They had 100 and something million in their back pocket. Never materialized. The real progress is what is at Argyle now. Yes, 22 years of the ULP. We accomplished it. We accomplished it in 14 years of governance. You had 17, you couldn't do it. You said no, because no, you were bragging because you said NDP 20 years ago. 20, women, you should make what you mean you should make progress. I telling you the progress you make. But you arguing like my partner MacArthur Young, who's saying we should, but clearly you're not holding the NDP to account for the lack of progress under their time. Or real progress. Let me put it that way. Real progress. Because I could say, yeah, we had scholarship, but oh God, man, only 3? Only 3? I can't see the progress on housing because they built none at all. So there was 0 progress on housing. Land reform, 0. They had plenty squatting, no ownership. Plenty squatting, but no ownership. Listen, everybody, and I'm glad they came. So thank you so much for joining the program. The first time I see you, so you're new one, and I hope you come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow morning during the morning school program, and you could always come next week during the street beat program or the evening school program. So, thank you for joining the program this evening. I will not allow anyone to discount the progress made by Vincentians under this government they call Labour Party. Because the progress is real, because the progress is significant, and the progress is life-changing. So I ain't letting nobody discount it. The progress is real, it is significant, and it is life-changing. It's transformative. St. Vincent and the Grenadines has been transformed. All I have to do is ask anybody who left St. Vincent and the Grenadines between 1996, 97, and 2000. Ask them what they left St. Vincent looking like, and let them come back to them and tell me what they see in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. That's the real test of the progress that we made. That is the real test of the progress that our country has made. And then people driving from the airport and they come in. First of all, the housing stock significantly improved. Infrastructure, significantly improved. When people come from overseas and they realize that our people here had the same smartphones, and we have the same technologies here that they leave overseas, they shock. But we have advanced. Listen to me now. Before 2000, now, when you had a degree, you've been lord and master, you know. When you had a degree, you've been lord and master. Excuse me, you were the Lord and the master. You were the king. Today, simply put, listen, you ain't special. You ain't special. You ain't special. But let me put it this way as I close the program. Let me put it this way. When you want to talk progress, Darwin, when you want to talk about where we are, I think you have to look at where we've come from, one, and put it in the context of where we got it. So, where were we when we started? You see, like I said before, and I'll keep using this analogy. Keep using this analogy. When you see a batter race, I use the word batter because you know batter, it's baton. When you see a relay and you see the finish, 1, 2, 3, the top three, eight places, 8 people racing. You see when the third leg done, well, I should say the second leg. When the second leg done, and the person who bringing in the batter second, in the second leg, hands over the batter in 8th place or 7th place, give the man who going on the third leg. If that man is able to run and hand over the baton for the final leg, even in third or second place, you would all admit that that person ran a fantastic leg. You would always say that that person, Chinix, ran a fantastic leg. Jamai, no Chinix, no Chinix. Me. Chinix, just remember me. Chinix, just recognize me. Yeah, she's a little dummy, auntie. Yeah. She has a speech, or rather, she's, yes, speech impaired. So the question you ask yourself is when you look at the countries around it, in the Windward Islands and in CARICOM, the second leg, because Mitchell government was the second government, Cato was the first one. The second leg, where were we? And I'm telling you, in the race of 8, if we look at the OECS, we were dead last. The ULB collected the baton dead last in the US in 2001. So if now in the race we even the second or third, we running at the word I use. So a darned good leg. We are running an excellent, a fantastic leg if we are even second or third. Because we got the baton last from the NDP. Poverty, salaries, infrastructure. We were dead last in OECS. So don't compare me now and say, oh, St. Lucia and St. Kitts and Antigua ahead of we. They always were. They always were. When we got the baton from NDP, they were ahead of us. The question is, How close are we to them now? And you see this leg that Labour running? This leg that Labour running had him right up there under St. Lucia. As a matter of fact, don't forget, in 2020, we were the only country in the OECS that we called it positive growth. And we had the highest rate of growth in 2021. So listen to me. Hey, when you come in and talking progress, let's talk where we got it, and let's talk about the leg that we're running now. And for students, or secondary school students, or university students, or public servants who are able to own homes, or academics who go off and study. Let's talk about where they are now. And we would admit that we ran an excellent leg. And we are running an excellent leg. And that is what the people of St. Vincent de Grenadines needs. That is what the people, I go all over the country though, all over the country. You say Richland Park, Killeden Borough, Vermont, Clare Valley, Fancy, North Leeward. I do North Leeward already, I do Beckway already, but we could always do them back because actually we plan to go Beckway sometime, Bling. It was supposed to be today. No, it's going to be maybe next week, but that's all right. We're all over the country. Because we want people to see what is happening. So let me thank everybody for joining the program. It's 2 minutes past 6. We came live from the Holiday Inn Express. I still hear noise over there. I don't know if it's a generator or if people still walking. My everybody don't gonna be said, like said, oh no, there's some man up there. Look, man up there still walking too. Yeah, so people still walking. We came live from the Holiday Inn Express site out at Diamond. Because today we wanted to speak a little bit about tourism infrastructure, and the progress that we are experiencing here in this country. And when we go to a rally, when we call a rally as the amazing Youth Labour Party, we're calling a rally to talk about the progress that we have. It's like another Youth Monday. We're calling a rally to talk about the progress of our country, the progress that we've experienced, the development that we've seen. That's why we have a rally. We do have a rally and bring entertainment so that people could come and be entertained and then tell them, oh, I know you see entertainment to come for, but as I have you here, let me tell you something. No. The message is always the main thing. And after the message, there's some entertainment. Until next week, Monday, God's willing, let me thank all of our viewers for logging on. Let me thank all those on radio for sticking around with us and being a part of this afternoon's freebie program. We thank you so much for your company. It's because of you why we do what we do. So on behalf of Bling, who's here with me at Diamonds, the site of the Holiday Inn Express, the Center of Excellence, the hotel, the Tourism Training Institute, the St. Vincent Beach Stadium, the National Properties Limited and Vinci Fresh, and all the other development in this very small area. Thank you so much for being a part of this afternoon program. Enjoyed having you there. Until next week, have yourself a good week. Take care.